Multiple sources confirm that Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, aka The Outsiders, have agreed to appear at the November 7th Victory Road 3-hour Sunday night premiere pay-per-view. That's teased extensively this month, where Jeff Jarrett is constantly talking about whether or not Russo will bring quote-unquote outsiders, and he reinforces the word outsiders over and over, and then suggests maybe he's beaten Russo to the punch.
What could he mean?
Well, what could it mean to say the word outsiders so much?
I'm not exactly pumping my fist at the idea of the outsiders coming in, but Paparazzi Productions needs to happen. So, I guess I just gotta take it on the chin.
Yeah, and like Nash ends up being like, not quite a TNA guy, but he's with TNA for 6 years, give or take.
Am I excited about the prospect of Kevin Nash working matches? No. Am I excited about the idea of Kevin Nash cutting promos? Yes.
Yeah, and goofing off and being stupid.
Which is honestly what every old dude who comes into this company should do.
There's also some speculation that Sean Waltman will appear with Hall and Nash as an outsiders-like faction. There's no word yet as to whether the group will actually work a match at the pay-per-view or if it will simply serve as their debut. Jeff Jarrett was reluctant to bring Hall and Nash in due to their locker room reputations, but has apparently decided that he needs to do something special for the first Sunday night pay-per-view. It is literally the Vince McMahon lethal dose of poison promo that Jarrett's doing within himself.
I get it. Like, I understand bringing him in. I get doing a big debut for the first pay-per-view, make it stand out. I personally am not that interested in seeing any of these guys work, but it could make for some interesting discussion.
And like one of the things we've hit on recently is like how star light these shows are. They're doing an okay job of like boosting up their homegrown guys, but like still only got Jarrett and Raven as like recognizable names, and maybe Conan and BG and maybe a little bit Ron, but not much Ron. So like there's not a ton of household names, and you can say a lot about Hall and Nash, but they're household names, and they're names that get attention, and they're names people pay attention to. And that's the call they make here. Like, they know what they're getting with them. They're not, like, in denial about it. Oh, well, they have Jeff Hardy, too. I should mention Jeff Hardy. But they're not in denial about what you get with Hall and Nash. But it's pretty similar to Hardy in that, like, they know Hardy will burn them. They know he will. They're counting the days until it happens. But they need him. And it's a similar case with Hall and Nash. They need them.
Yeah, I think Jeff has a lot more value, but listen, I'm not opposed to it. I'm sure it'll make for some good podcasting content.
The locker room reaction to reports that the outsiders are scheduled to be joining the company has been positive. In fact, some wrestlers are hoping that Hall and Nash will play some political games they've been known throughout their careers. We need anything that will get Jeff and Dutch away from the book. If it's a power play, so be it. We need something, anything, says one wrestler.
Yeah, right, I'm into it now. They're winning me over because they brought up a very good point. It's like, you know, normally what makes you worried when these guys come in is that they might ruin a good thing. Not really a good thing to ruin, so might as well bring them in.
I like that that's the locker room attitude too. It's like, listen, these guys are known for making like life a nightmare and rooting places and playing politics. But listen, the guys in charge suck, so yeah, do it. Do it.
Yeah, that has actually swayed me quite significantly.
The locker room is so frustrated. They're like, bring the biggest politicking assholes in here to boot out the shitty people.
We'll see how that goes.
Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are said to be excited about going to work in TNA. Hall lives in Orlando and Nash lives nearby in Daytona Beach, so they are both within driving distance of Universal Studios. They like the fact that they won't have to work house shows, and they expect to have a large say in the way their characters are booked on television.
I'm sure nothing controversial will come out of this ever.
No, Nash has some controversy too. I was going to say Nash is pretty good, but there's a whole thing Bound for Glory next year, so...
Might have been what I was referring to.
And Hall will have multiple controversies. Yes. I did like Nash doing the Austin show where he was just like, I worked for TNA, I'd drive down to Universal Studios, I'd work a 6-man tag in which I did 2 moves, go to the steakhouse, eat a giant steak, drink some wine, get paid 10 figures and go home. It's like, yeah, sounds dream job.
Wonderful.
There's people who be like, you stole money. It's like, nah, all power to you.
I love Big Sexy.